So here's a wild one. A senator's 6-month suspension is officially over, but the doors to the chamber? They're still locked shut. Now, this isn't just about a date on a calendar, it's this whole complex standoff between the Senate and one of its own. And there's a really important legal idea caught right in the middle of it all. Let's break down what's really going on here.
Right, so this is the central puzzle, isn't it? The penalty has been served. The time is up. So why is a duly elected senator still barred from doing her job? Well, the answer is kind of tangled up in a courtroom battle, a pretty controversial letter, and two totally different ways of looking at the law.
To really get how we ended up in this standoff, we've got to go back to the beginning. You know, to the person and the event that kicked this whole saga off in the first place. Okay, so right from day one, you have two completely conflicting stories. On March 6th, Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan gets suspended. The Senate's official reason? They called it insubordination over a seating dispute. But what the senator claims is way, way more serious. She says this was payback for a sexual harassment petition she filed. So from the very start, these two sides were just worlds apart.
But see, the senator didn't just quietly accept the suspension. Nope. She immediately took the fight from the Senate floor and moved it into the legal system, which escalated this whole thing into a full-blown courtroom battle.
So her legal journey starts at the federal high court, but the court actually sided with the Senate. She wasn't having it, though. She appealed, taking her case up to the next level, the Court of Appeal. And that decision, the decision to appeal, is what brings this super important legal idea right to the center of our story. And that idea is sub judice. It's a Latin term, and it literally means under a judge. What it means in practice is that while a case is being actively decided by a court, nobody involved should be taking actions that could mess with the court's final decision. This term is absolutely the core of the Senate's argument, so you're going to want to remember it. Okay, so let's fast forward to today and see how all this led to the conflict we're seeing right now. The suspension period has officially run out, which sets the stage for a direct confrontation. 6 months. That was the suspension. You'd think, okay, on paper, her penalty's paid, she's ready to go back to work, and her team was pretty confident that it was just that simple. In fact, her lawyer, Victor Giwa, sounded incredibly optimistic. He basically said everything was all set for her to come back and that he didn't see any obstacles at all. He even thought the Senate leadership was ready to welcome her. But, yeah, that optimism pretty much hit a brick wall. In a formal letter, the National Assembly management gave their official response. Because the matter is, you guessed it, sub judice, no action could be taken to let her back in until the Court of Appeal makes its final ruling. So now you've got two sides that are completely dug in, right? Let's break down their core arguments, put them side by side, and see exactly where they clash. Okay, so this is really the heart of it. On one side, the senator's position is pretty straightforward. The 6-month term is over. That's it. Her lawyer even calls the court case a separate academic exercise at this point because the time's been served. But on the other side, the Senate's position is just as firm. Her appeal put the entire suspension under the judge, so the suspension itself stays active until that judge, the Court of Appeal, makes a final call. So this all leaves us with a huge question about what the real-world consequences are right now. And, what the next moves might be in this high-stakes political and legal chess match. So yeah, it all kind of comes down to this, doesn't it? Who is actually right here? And while the courts are going to have the final say on that, let's just look at the undisputed reality of the situation as it stands today. So here's what we know for sure. As of right now, the senator's suspension is still effectively in place. The power to break this whole deadlock now lies entirely with the Court of Appeal. And this is the part that really matters on the ground, while all this plays out, the people of the Kogi Central Senatorial District have no one representing them in the Senate. And that's really what this entire standoff boils down to, a fundamental question that goes way beyond just this one case. It's about power, it's about procedure, and it's about justice. When a penalty runs its course, but the case is still bouncing around the legal system, who gets the final say? The ticking clock on the calendar or the gavel of a judge? That's the question the Court of Appeal is going to have to answer.